Hi everyone, I'm Jessica Evans with Love Live DC Real Estate. Happy New Year as we move into 2019. I'm really excited about something new that we're going to be sharing with you this year. And that will be a series of Facebook Live videos on different real estate topics, also on our local housing market. I've heard from so many of you that one of the most difficult things about buying or selling a home in the DC area, especially if maybe it's your first time or you aren't that familiar with the process, one of the big challenges that I hear from you guys is finding accurate information to help you through the process. So I'm really committed this year to sharing with all of you some of the knowledge and insight that I've picked up over the years, and hopefully you find this useful and insightful, whether or not you're looking to buy or sell anytime soon, or maybe it's just entertaining. So to start with today, one of my favorite topics is negotiation. And negotiation in a real estate transaction is a pretty broad topic, as is the case in any transaction that involves a contract. There's a lot of different terms that get negotiated throughout the process. A lot of it in real estate transactions comes down to money, but there's also time, there's risk, and it's important that when you are signing a contract that you understand what your options are, but also that you're taking into account a good negotiation strategy with your goals and objectives in mind. So for me, I always recommend starting with your objectives and then working backward from there to determine your negotiation strategy. If you are thinking about buying or selling and you know nothing about negotiation, that's completely okay. It's not, from my perspective, it's not really something that is the responsibility of the buyer or seller. It really is the responsibility of the person that you're hiring to work for you. So one of the topics that we'll cover many times this year is why it's important to choose the right person to represent you in your transaction. But negotiation is definitely one of those things where a skilled negotiator is going to save you money or cost you money on the other side. So different things that get negotiated in a real estate contract include the price, the settlement date, contingencies, and I find that a lot of times buyers or sellers are either on one end of the spectrum where they want to negotiate really aggressively, which sometimes is a great strategy and has great results and outcomes, or they're afraid to negotiate at all. And there's a time and a place for both of those. And the value that your real estate agent can add in the negotiation process is helping you figure out how much leverage you have. So leverage is your starting position, and if we thought about this as like a scale, if the weight is in the middle, then both parties have equal negotiation power, equal leverage. But a lot of transactions aren't like that. In fact, more often than not, one party has more power than the other. A lot of times it's because of market forces. So one scenario that you can look at is if you're looking to buy a home and there's multiple offers expected. So that means there's multiple buyers that are going to be interested in buying that one home. Your negotiation power is pretty limited. Conversely, if you're looking at a home that's been on the market for a really long time, and maybe the price is too high or it doesn't reflect the condition appropriately, you are in a position of a lot of leverage where you can negotiate really aggressively. So it's important that you kind of work with your agent to figure out how much leverage you have so that you don't either pay more than you should or end up in a situation where your opportunity cost was the home that you wanted to purchase and someone else ended up buying it, which unfortunately does happen sometimes. So from a seller's perspective, negotiation is also really important because not all houses do get multiple offers. So if you're selling your house and you get an offer and it's less than what you're asking for, or the buyer is asking for some extra special things in that offer, maybe they want like a really long settlement date, or negotiations, what's going to help you get more of what you want and less of what you don't want. So that's like basically the big summary. And if your agent is guiding you through that process, then you can better understand what do you want more of besides money, which everyone wants, and what do you want less of, which is usually risk or cost. So I think that's the overall summary that I wanted to cover today. Every transaction is different, and the important thing is that whoever you choose to work with you and represent you in that transaction, that they have the knowledge and expertise and they know how to investigate. I think investigation comes in a lot of different forms. For me, a lot of the time it's a phone call with the other agent, which is a surprisingly small step that can result in very large impacts. But we try to get as much information as we can about the other side and try to figure out how much leverage we have. And we've successfully saved buyers a lot of money or saved sellers a lot of money by having them not accept an offer that was less than they could get. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to, what are your objectives as a buyer or seller, and how can your real estate agent help you achieve them? I definitely also work with clients sometimes that are very skilled in various fields, but maybe not so skilled in real estate negotiation, which is totally fine. But I do always recommend that you do take the advice of your real estate agent. Things to look out for are if you are proposing a certain offer strategy and your real estate agent is always telling you, like, no, you should offer the list price or you should offer more than that because they're afraid of what the seller's response is going to be. That's not a good thing. Or if you're selling your house and you get an offer and the listing agent is advising you just to accept it without countering it and without giving you other information, that's another red flag. That's probably not a great situation to be in, although it might be a little bit late to make a change. So it's better to do your research up front. And at the end of the day, negotiation is either going to cost you money or save you money. With my clients, I actually find it very exciting and fun when there is an agent on the other side of the transaction that is not as good of a negotiator, because that results in a great opportunity for us. So unfortunately, know that who you choose to hire matters for a lot of different reasons, but that's a big one of them. And I hope that you guys found this to be interesting and knowledgeable. And if you have any questions, feel free to send me a message, and I look forward to doing more of these as the year goes on. Thanks.